I'm retired Lieutenant General Mike Linnington, CEO of Wounded Warrior Project. We are thrilled to work alongside PsychArmor to help bring greater awareness of our veterans and military communities through its series of military culture courses. Since 2003, Wounded Warrior Project has been transforming the way America's injured veterans are empowered, employed, and engaged in our communities. And we simply couldn't do it without organizations and individuals who believe as passionately as we do in serving those who have served and sacrificed so much on our behalf. That's why it's so important to inform and educate our citizens on military and veteran culture, so they can understand their needs and learn how to best support our brave military men and women while in uniform and once they transition back into civilian life. On behalf of our entire team at Wounded Warrior Project, thank you for supporting warriors and their families.
Welcome to 15 Things Veterans Want You to Know. My name is Dr. Heidi Kraft. I'm a clinical psychologist and the clinical director at PsychArmor Institute. I am a Navy veteran. I spent 9 years on active duty in the Navy and deployed to Iraq in 2004 with a Marine Corps surgical company. I'm very pleased to be here today to introduce a new way of thinking about military culture. America is a country made up of people from countless different cultural backgrounds. Certainly, it's part of what makes us great. For some time now, people have been trying to understand what it means to be culturally competent. The military is a culture, just like any other. Military people, like those from any culture, have certain beliefs, practice certain rituals and traditions, and hold fast to certain ideals that shape who they are as a group of people. In order to bridge the gap between non-military Americans and those who wear the uniform of their country, military cultural competence is an important first step. So what are the most important parts of a culture to understand? Well, we went to the source. We asked our veterans. We asked thousands of American veterans, what is one thing you would want your doctor, nurse, therapist, employer, anyone in your life, really, who's trying to understand you, to know about you? This course is based on their top 15 answers. First and foremost, ask a very important question. Did you serve in the military? It matters, and it begins the conversation. You see, in the military, we have our own history and our own language. In fact, if you listen to military people talk, it's truly as if they're speaking a different language. We have very specific traditions, and they are richly written throughout history. They often tell you who we are. For instance, at a ball game, when the national anthem is played, you'll see military people standing at attention, even long after they've left active duty. We take pride in our sacrifices, and sometimes we feel like people who haven't lived our lives can't understand. So asking, did you serve in the military, is a great way to begin the conversation and to engage a veteran. As an active duty Marine said, we are not like you. The veteran and his family are tough, but have the biggest hearts and have gone through huge sacrifices and a broad spectrum of emotions many times. Knowing that, please start the conversation. Ask a person if he or she served. If the answer is yes, let's move on to 15 things veterans need to know. Number 1, we are not all soldiers. This is a big one for military people, and if there is one thing to take away from this course, it would be this. While many people, including those in the media, talk about military personnel, they refer to soldiers as a general term. This is not correct. Soldiers are only in the Army. There are 4 other branches in the armed services, and they are very different. They have different missions and even different subcultures. Although we are all part of that same larger team, military people are proud of their specific service branches. Very importantly, you do not need to know specifics about what the Coast Guard does, or what the ranking structure of the Air Force is, or what you call a person in the Navy. You don't need to know why the Marines' mission is different from the Army's. But knowing that these 5 branches are different is the first and important step to military cultural awareness. So this leads us to an important follow-up question. If a person answers yes, he or she served, the next question should be, which branch? Asking this question demonstrates that you know the difference between the 5 branches. I guarantee this earns you instant credibility with that veteran, and it keeps the conversation going, which is the whole point. Number 2, the reserves are part of the military. There are 2 ways to serve in uniform in our country. One is active duty, in which case your full-time job is putting on the uniform and fulfilling your role in the armed forces every day. The other way is the reserves. These are people who train and stay ready to be called up if they're needed. Members of the reserves, who are seen in every branch, train together 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year. When not in uniform, they go back to their civilian jobs in their communities. They will be called to help when our country needs them, either to augment a national defense-related mission, or, sometimes in the case of the National Guard, to help in domestic, national, or local emergencies where additional support is required. When reservists are mobilized and deployed, they come home from their deployments and go right back to their civilian communities. But often they don't have the same support or resources as an active duty person does when they return. This can cause a significant amount of additional stress on military reservists and their families. Number 3, not everyone in the military is infantry. When we think of the classic, generic version of the military person, we definitely think of infantry. This is an image probably fed through our culture from the time we're young. But the truth is, the range of what people do in the military is truly remarkable. We are expertly trained in literally hundreds of jobs, from mechanics, cooks, pilots, and sailors, to divers, administrators, doctors, musicians, to weapons specialists, military police, firefighters, and air traffic controllers. We operate, maintain, and fix all types of weapons, aircraft, sea vessels, vehicles, equipment, and machinery. Knowing this, the third important question then, after learning a person served and in which branch, would be, what did you do during your service? What was your job? This shows that you know there are many different things a military person could have been trained to do. It's an acknowledgement or a validation of that person's training and skills and how hard he or she has worked to be an expert at that job. It also demonstrates that you understand each individual job is vital to the overall execution of the military's mission. This will help you to consider the impact of different occupations might have, physically and mentally, in order to be sensitive to that in conversation. As one veteran explains, our bodies are pounded daily. By the time I hit retirement age, I will have lost several inches off my height due to daily stress. Number 4, we have leaders at every level in the chain of command. Almost immediately out of basic or officer training, military people are responsible for those that work for and with them. And there's a sense of real leadership that's engendered, taught, and truly embraced all the way down to the lowest level of the chain of command and all the way up to the highest. Leadership is a very important factor in military service. Those who wear the uniform feel responsible for others and accountable to others, and this is a large part of the pride we take in our service. Number 5, we are always on duty. In the military, there are no days off, even when a person is on leave. We can be called back at a moment's notice if the unit is getting ready to deploy, or in the case of an unexpected mission demand. So even when we're on vacation, we're not really on vacation. Here's a quote from a Coast Guardsman. I am always on call. I can never plan a vacation, because an operation can come up at the last minute. Work schedules are pretty tough at times. Number 6, we take pride in our appearance and in our conduct. Military people take appearance, conduct, and physical fitness very seriously. Even out of uniform, we're held to a standard with regard to how we look. Physical fitness matters in a real way. We need to train so that when we're called, we're ready to accomplish that mission. Likewise, we're responsible for maintaining a standard of conduct. In fact, active duty people are held to an actual code of military justice. It's a set of rules that governs military people, and we can be charged with crimes based on these rules and held accountable in court. Some people have perceptions about military people that maybe they're rigid based on the way they look. In fact, we like to think of ourselves not as rigid, but as proud. Simply stated, this is just the way we've been brought up, and we believe that these standards have a purpose. Number 7, we did not all kill someone, and those who have do not want to talk about it. This one doesn't need a lot of commentary. Unfortunately, this is a question that gets asked of our military veterans far too often. I realize people are just curious, but I hope this course will educate you to realize that this is not a question any military veteran wants to be asked. Whether he or she has lived through this or hasn't, it's not a question that should be asked of military veterans. Please don't ask us that, ever. Number 8, we do not all have PTSD. There's a general perception that anyone who deployed to combat develops PTSD, and that's just not true. A vast majority of veterans, including combat veterans, do not go on to develop post-traumatic stress disorder. Some people might have symptoms in the acute aftermath of any kind of trauma, but then experience a natural recovery process. This is also true for combat. While combat can certainly be very traumatic, it can also lead to great moments of reward and friendship and love. Number 9, those of us who do have an invisible wound are not dangerous, and we are not violent. Invisible wounds of war, including post-traumatic stress disorder, traumatic brain injury, depression, and substance use disorder, are not obvious to someone looking at a veteran, but they are real injuries, causing real suffering, and they deserve the same respect and treatment as physical injuries. The media has created a bias that insinuates those with PTSD might be violent. This is not true. Those of us with invisible wounds of war may be injured, but we are not violent. Number 10, it is really hard for us to ask for help. The military culture is based in service, sacrifice, and helping, or even rescuing others. It is others-based, and historically has not valued self-care or help-seeking behaviors. There's an expectation of mission accomplishment, even at personal cost. Because of this long-standing cultural bias, reaching out for help for ourselves is difficult for military people. Some veterans view asking for help as a sign of weakness. It also takes a great level of trust for a veteran to allow him or herself to be vulnerable. Please have patience and don't give up on us. Number 11, our military service changes us. That change is permanent, and that's okay. We wouldn't expect anything else. Like I said, it's a culture with its own traditions, rituals, language, standards, expectations, stigma, wonderful moments and horrible moments. It's unreasonable to think that a person will go through those experiences and be unchanged. Number 12, we differ in how much we identify with the military after we leave active duty. As in any culture, some people find themselves truly defined by their service and their association with the military. Others consider it part of their past and move on from it. If I'm getting to know a veteran, I like to ask these questions. How has your military service shaped you? How does it factor into how you define yourself now? Again, there's instant credibility in those questions, as it gives us a chance to see that you understand. We are all different, both while we serve and after we serve. Number 13, our families serve with us. Military families have some of the most challenging jobs in the world. They're subject to frequent separation from their loved ones and moving from place to place, sometimes every 2 or 3 years. It's difficult to establish schools for the kids or jobs for the spouses. Then the service member comes back from deployment and wants to take back some of those responsibilities that he or she used to have. And the spouse feels like, I've really got this process down. I know what I'm doing now. All of this requires flexibility, bravery, strength, and resilience. Anyone who knows a military family knows that all those words define us. Number 14, we would die for each other and we would die for our country. We would, and we do. It doesn't matter where we fight, the geographical location, or the technological or political background. It doesn't matter what the mission is or who's in charge of the country. Why we fight has always been the same. From the very beginning, it's about the people to our left and our right, and any military person will tell you that. The people with whom we serve become brothers and sisters to us, and we would die for them, and we do. And we would not change that culture of sacrifice for the world. Number 15, we've all made this sacrifice for one reason, to serve something more important than ourselves. When it comes down to it, this defines our culture. People who choose to serve in uniform and who sign on that line, saying they will make that sacrifice, they live by a certain code. And we like to say it's honor and commitment and duty. Most of all, though, these are people who make a choice. We've all chosen to serve something larger than ourselves, more important than ourselves. That's a unique and special piece of military culture that runs through everything and everyone who's part of it. We are choosing the concept of service. In summary, asking the right questions gives you credibility and brings you closer to the veterans in your lives. It opens the door for a better understanding of our experiences and our military culture. When you meet someone you think might be a veteran, ask, did you serve in the military? Which branch? What job did you do in the military? The military is a complicated culture, and you do not have to know a lot of details about the military in order to show some military cultural awareness to bridge that gap between yourself and the veterans in your life. We hope this course has taught you a few important things that veterans want you to know. We're not all soldiers. The reserves are a vital part of the military. Not everyone in the military is infantry. There are hundreds of specific jobs people perform. Leadership is very important, and veterans have a heightened sense of responsibility for and to others. We are always on duty. We take pride in our appearance and our conduct. We did not all kill someone, and those who have do not want to talk about it. We do not all have PTSD. Those of us who do have an invisible wound are not dangerous and not violent. It's really hard for us to ask for help. We're used to putting others and the mission before ourselves. Our military service changed us. That change is permanent, and that's okay. We all differ in how much we identify with the military after we leave active duty. Our families served with us. Military families have some of the most challenging jobs in the world. We would die for each other and for our country. We've all made this sacrifice for one reason, to serve someone more important than ourselves. Thank you so much for taking the time to take this course. I hope that this was helpful in better understanding military culture and our nation's veterans. On behalf of them all,